I faced those challenges. I continued on this journey. It made me mentally strong because
And
I believe trust is a currency which is in short supply
it will help you perform better.
in terms of your energy and at which part of the day you are at your worst or lowest. The number one is lack of clarity.
A big part of your work focuses on mindset mastery.
What is holding people back, especially the professionals, is their patterns.
That actually holds the power to, because it doesn't gives that space. Otherwise, the whole building would collapse, right? That's
There is a tendency to emulate successful people.
Liliji, you had 2 decades of corporate leadership experience. Welcome back to Trust Your Journey 1.0, the podcast where stories meet strategies to transform lives and leadership. Today, I'm excited to host a guest who has been a catalyst of transformation for thousands, Mr. Lalit Hundalani. He is India's leading life and executive leadership coach, founder and chief coach of Lalit Hundalani International, and 3x best-selling author. From his bestsellers, Focus Your Way to Fortune and Hacking the Productivity, to his leadership programs, Lalit has inspired professionals to break mental barriers, master productivity, and lead with clarity. With credentials from the International Coaching Federation and IIM Lucknow, Lalit blends over 2 decades of corporate leadership experience with deep transformational coaching. Today, we'll explore his journey, his philosophy of leadership, and the wisdom behind helping people unlock their potential. Lalit, welcome to Trust Your Journey 1.0.
Thank you. Thank you, Avinash, for having me on your show. It's a pleasure to be connected with you and being a part of your show as a guest. Thank you.
Lalitji, this actually leads to me to the first question of mine, from corporate leader to coaching. It's a similar journey which I also went through. Lalitji, you had 2 decades of corporate leadership experience before becoming one of India's most sought after coaches. Can you take us through the turning point when you realized that coaching was your true mission?
So, Avinash, it's a great question to start with. It's the answer is going to be a little lengthy, so kindly bear with me. So, throughout my corporate experience while I was working, and since my role involved sales and business development, and I was managing a considerable team size across hierarchies, so one of the KPIs involved people development. So, what I realized that this was something which I really enjoyed. Why? Because these were the people who remained in touch, who remembered you even after you have shifted the jobs or moved up the hierarchies.
True.
If you have contributed in somebody's life, that person was more likely to remember you for a longer duration of time. That was one. Second, I always liked to be part of the training program. So whenever organization used to give me the opportunities to attend HR training programs, L&D programs, or leadership programs, I used to enjoy it. Unlike my colleagues, most of them, as you come from the same background, you would agree with me, used to consider those opportunities as paid holidays.
Yeah.
So I used to enjoy such opportunities. And since I enjoyed people development and I also enjoyed personal development, so somewhere I connected with it. So during the later part of my career, I remember somewhere I think around 2019-20, during one of the programs, there was one thought that came into my mind. How would it be to be on the other side, where instead of being a participant, if I am imparting trainings? Although I was already doing it in some small portion where I was training my teams on functional aspects in some way, but never a formal training. Okay. I discussed it with some of my trainer colleagues as well, but of course the job continued. But finally, when I decided to make a switch, I started exploring trainings. During that course of time, I came across coaching. Till that time, I did not know much about coaching. Now, when I did, I started to explore it. I went through the coaching journey myself.
Wow.
And truth to be told, I was blown away by the transformative power of coaching. Okay. The impact it had on me, I was just in awe of it. And once I had experienced it on myself, I could realize the power it carried. I thought, how will it be if I could help the colleagues out there who are like me and who could benefit from this methodology? And that's how my coaching journey started.
Wow.
So, coaching works on the principle of helping you achieve or maximize your performance by unlocking your potential. Okay. And if you look at it, simplifies in the form of a equation where your performance is equal to potential minus resistance. Now, the best thing which I liked about coaching is that it assumes that everyone has potential.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the first part. Second, it helps you in eliminating the resistance, which is something which is stopping you. Now, once you do that, you become unstoppable. And that you may call as something which acted as a turning point for me. And I started on this journey.
Wow. Wow. I'm sure this journey would get resonated with many of our audience who is listening out there, because everybody wants such a journey, right? We all in the corporate world want something to build and to be, as you mentioned, to be on the other side, right, where you are the leader out there and who is actually showcasing their skills, because everybody has that potential, beautifully put through and beautifully transformed, I would say. But this actually leads to me to my second question, Lalitji. A big part of your work focuses on mindset mastery. In your experience, what are the most common mindset blocks that hold professionals back, and how they begin to shift them? Because mindset is everything.
See, if I have to put it in one word, what is holding people back, especially the professionals, is their patterns.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are all caught up in certain patterns. And unless we are able to break those patterns, it's really difficult to move forward, or if, as we call it, we feel stuck. Okay. But if we have to just break it down, what really leads to these kind of patterns, or what is holding back or leads to these kind of mental blocks, the number one is lack of clarity.
Yeah.
The people I have coached or I have met, most of them don't have much clarity. What do they want in their careers? What is it that they actually want in their lives? Sometimes they assume just because they have been doing certain thing for a certain period of time, and it could be a job or a business for that matter, this is what they actually want,
Yeah.
which is so not true.
True.
Okay. And I am telling it from my personal experience. I worked on something for close to 2 decades, but then I later realized my calling was something different. Okay. Likewise, when I work with people, I find that there's a lack of clarity. So that's number one. And that leads to number two. When there is lack of clarity, you feel stuck. What do? You look outside.
Yeah.
And then you see what are others doing.
True.
And then you start benchmarking the success to other success. And that leads to the second mental block, which I call as comparison trap. So when you see somebody doing one particular thing, getting success, you try to emulate it.
Yeah.
That thing may or may not work out for you. And if it doesn't, you feel unfulfilled, get trapped into self doubt, leading to low self esteem.
True.
So that's the second mental block which leads to. Connected to this is third, which is victim mentality, which talks about things happening to me rather than I taking control of the things.
True.
And I often quote to my clients, are you a human being or are you a television? So when you say things are happening to me, that means you don't have a control on your life.
Yeah.
Something else is controlling your life. So when people come to me, I am putting my 100%, still I'm not getting results, still success is not coming to me because somebody else is doing something. Okay. So that's the third mental block. It stops them on their tracks and they feel stuck, which also is connected to the fourth one, which is fixed mindset.
Yeah.
I have been doing something for long in a certain way. That's the only way which I know. And since I know this way, that is the only correct way. And if even if somebody tries to tell me something different, I may not be very open to change. Okay. So resistance to change or fixed mindset is another mental block because I get so tuned to doing things in a certain way, I find it difficult to change and adapt. Considering the kind of environment we are living in, the scenario we are into, it gets difficult if you continue with the fixed mindset.
Yeah.
And the last would be fear of failure. Sometimes, even if people want to do something, what stops them is what if.
Yeah.
What if I tried, but it doesn't work out?
True.
Looking at my journey, many a times people who come from the corporate world, they ask me how you started. And I have seen people who tried venturing out on their own, tried for a couple of months, but then they went back. There were some people who just thought of and they are still thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is a fear of failure which stops them from taking action. So they continue with the situation they are in. Okay.
All these mental blocks which you mentioned,
Yeah.
these actually are already seeded from since childhood in us. And I'm sure audience would relate to all these mental blocks because the lack of clarity, the fixed patterns, the comparison trap, the victim mindset, the fixed mindset, the fear of failure, it's there in our mind only. And glad you actually put it like very beautifully that these actually will come in everybody's journey, but you need to face them, you need to overcome these mental blocks, and that's where journey of transformation gets started. Thank you so much, Lalit ji, for answering this question. This actually leads to me another question of mine, which is your book Hacking the Productivity has become a guide for professionals. What's one unconventional productivity hack that can make an immediate difference in someone's work and life? Like if somebody wants to like a productivity hack right now, like can you provide it? Because your book is already helping many.
So that's a difficult question because you are asking among the many children you have, who is your favorite one?
Yeah.
Uh, if I talk about the book, one of the underlying theme or the tone of that book is about identifying what works for you. So when I wrote that book and I was doing my research, what I found, and during my work experience also, what I noticed, there is a tendency to emulate successful people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So if something is working for one person, the tendency is we start emulating that person.
True.
Okay. Without really understanding and analyzing whether that particular habit or a hack is aligned to me as a person or not.
True.
So one of the hack which I have covered in this book talks about the concept of energy zones. So the concept of energy zone talks about understanding your biological clock and then identifying which part of the day you are at your best in terms of your energy, and at which part of the day you are at your worst or lowest. Accordingly, if you are able to divide your day into four energy zones, and I have named it as a task method. So, where T stands for top of the game, where your energy levels are at the highest. Okay, so we call it T or top of the game. Next comes the A, which is alert but not creative, which is the second best zone. Third is S, which is for sluggish. And the fourth is K, which is keeping awake. Now, once you've divided these four energy zones, all you need to do is align your tasks or work based upon your energy zone. So, if you want to do some creative work, it's a no brainer that you need to align it to your top of the game zone where you are most creative, most energetic. The next best should be aligned to your alert zone. Something which is mundane can be done in your third energy zone, which is sluggish. And keeping away is where you can do maybe organizing your desk or some regular stuff. What's important is if you are a early bird, your top of your game zone might be in the morning. But if you're a night owl, then your top of the game zone can be in the evening.
Wow.
So this helps you in aligning your energy zone based upon your biological clock and then work up.
And this beautifully aligns with my energy too, Lalitji, because I really love this framework of task where you can put all your tasks in this task framework itself. So it will help you perform better. So thank you so much for answering this question. But this actually leads again to my next question, which is with workplaces, which is evolving rapidly now. What do you believe that defines great leadership today? And how can executives build influence while staying authentic and still actually drive through with their purpose itself? I want purpose to be driven and feeded from this podcast.
Sure. So Avinash, today everybody is talking about AI.
Yeah,
Okay. And I firmly believe in the AI, era of AI, what is going to differentiate us is only humanity.
yeah,
So, in my opinion, great leadership is something that is built on a strong foundation,
yeah,
which is more human in nature.
true.
Before aiming to be a great leader, what's essential to understand that one should aim to be a great human. Okay. And when I'm talking about a human foundation, it needs to have its core in place. And that core should comprise of elements like authenticity, integrity, values, ethics, and empathy. Now, why are these things important? I will take a few minutes to expand on that. See, when we are talking about authenticity, you can't be a leader who's faking it all the time.
True.
I have seen many leaders who pretend to be something else who they are not.
Yeah.
And when people see that, they feel cheated.
Yeah.
So, what is required is lead with your authenticity. Now, there could be a one problem. What if your authentic self is not good?
Yeah.
Now, that may only push you to work on your authentic self, make it better, and then go on leading others. So, that may require some extra work, but that may prepare you to become a great leader. And that's why I said before aiming to become a great leader, aim to become a great human. So, that's one. Integrity for me is an alignment of your thoughts, words, and actions. So you should not be talking something else and thinking something else. So whatever you are saying, your actions and your thinking all should be aligned,
True.
so that there is a clarity in your communication and there is a clarity in your vision, which helps the team to follow your vision. And when everybody is aligned, it gets easier for the team, the community to work towards a common objective.
True.
Values act as a guiding compass for you when things get hazy. Whatever we do, we are living in uncertain times. There is a lot of ambiguity. And in times of ambiguity, it's your values that provide you direction. So without values, you may go all over the place. So that's why these are important. Ethics are important so that they bind you together. You don't get into, because you have temptations everywhere. Okay. And if as a leader, you don't put the ethics in place, it's very easy for you to be tempted. It's very easy for the team to be tempted.
True.
Okay. And the last is empathy. If it's only about me, then it's not going to work out. I have to understand others also. So there has to be an element of empathy, there has to be an element of care. So that these are the core foundations which are required. And that is what is going to help one become a great leader and lead with authenticity. That's what I can tell you. Have I answered your questions or have I missed something, Avinash?
I think you have articulated it beautifully. These pointers, how if someone wants to become a great leader, the empathy, the authenticity, the ethics, the values. These are basic structures which a great leader, if anybody watches or listens to any greatest of the leaders, they have fixed these things first, and basis that only they have led to forward. So thank you so much, Lalitji. It's a beautiful represent. I'm asking and I'm hearing all these things. It's like echoing in my mind again and again that whatever you're saying, it is the way to lead forward. It is the way to go ahead in life, and that's what I am also resonating. And I'm sure the audience would also get resonated, because this is no words can explain these values, I would say. So thank you so much for answering this question. This now to take the learnings, I'm sure you have coached thousands and of people now, professionals out there in the corporate world and across the industries. You've impacted professionals across industries like finance, education, and manufacturing. What's one powerful story of transformation from your coaching journey that still inspires you? Because there are so many transformations happening in front of you, and which inspires you, right? Every day as coaches we get to see that. So,
Yeah.
what inspires you? Any transformation story?
There are many. Uh, Let me think of somebody that comes to my mind. Okay. So there was one particular client a few years back. So this lady, when she reached out to me, uh, she was going through a tough phase. And when I say tough phase, it was personally as well as professionally. Okay. Uh, she was separated, and then career wise also, she was not happy with the kind of job she was doing and the kind of income she was earning. Now, when we started with her coaching journey, what was commendable about her was she implemented whatever she was asked to do. Okay. And she implemented it to the T. Okay. And within a few weeks, she was able to land up with a new job offer. Okay. She wanted to move to US. She got that opportunity. Uh, she got a two-level jump. So she was working into a position. The new job offer got was two levels up. Okay. Of course, the salary was high. Plus, she also got a joining bonus. she was over the moon, because that was one of the key reasons why she joined, because she was going through a tough phase monetarily and she wanted to overcome that. So that is one transformation that comes to my mind, and it happened pretty fast. I think within a few weeks since we started, she was able to do that. That's one which comes to my mind. Another which comes to my mind is of a young guy who was graduate, but when he connected to me, he was unemployed, not doing anything. So when he reached out to me for coaching, I remember speaking to his mother also, and she asked me for assurance that whether this is going to help him or not. And by the time we ended the intervention, he got the job, and he also started a side business with his brother. So he had two streams of income running for him by the time we ended the journey. So these are the two that come to my mind immediately, which where I can talk about the tangible results.
And I'm sure the struggles, the challenges which people, everyone goes through, like they just need a buddy, a coach like you, uh, to provide that accountability to take this aligned actions, to align their energies and everything. And I think you shifted their energies because they actually got involved and got merged into your energies, and that's where the results got manifested for them.
Absolutely. So how it happens is, Avinash, like many times people don't understand that why you are not getting a job, and there are many such instances where I have worked with people, or why you are not moving in a specific area. The reason is not outside, the
Yeah,
reason is within you.
true.
Okay. So while people are trying to find the reason outside and putting their energy there, working with the coach helps you putting the effort in the right direction. And as I mentioned earlier, once you are able to remove the resistance, then the journey becomes smooth and you are able to achieve the desired results. And that is practically what happened in these cases. And being a, of course, coach by your side helps in building the accountability, and you end up doing what you are supposed to be doing. That happened in both these cases.
I'm sure, Lalit ji, the insights which you gave, these are incredible insights. And if any of the listeners, if they got ignited with your leadership wisdom, which you have communicated to us right now, they can mention in the comments that they're ignited. Yeah. So thank you so much. And Lalit ji, it was an incredible session. This podcast is divided into three sessions. So let's shift gears into something light and quick, our rapid fire round. Yeah.
Sure.
So it will be fun, short, and I want it to be rapid. Yeah.
Sure.
So it goes with it builds that excitement in people who are listening as well, that they get to know more about you as a person, that what exactly you do in your normal life and what exactly you have to offer to the world.
Sure.
First question, Lalit ji, for from our rapid fire round. One word that defines leadership for you.
Authenticity.
Correctly answered. Authenticity serves. Second question. Morning routine essential? Yes or no?
Yes.
I know a silly question, but yes, it's essential for everyone. Coffee, tea, or meditation? What would you prefer from three of these options?
Coffee, tea, or meditation?
Yeah. What would you prefer?
In what time? In the
From these
morning or
three options, what would
uh,
you prefer? Like coffee, tea, or meditation at any time of
tea?
the day?
Tea.
You're a chai lover. So
Chai
glad
lover.
I'm meeting you. A book you recommend to every leader who is listening out there or who wants to become a leader.
What got you here won't get you there, by Marshall Goldsmith.
Wow. And I'm sure this book link and everything would be shared in the description below, so you can get your book ordered as well. Best advice you have ever received from anyone? Best advice.
See, best advice I have received is be yourself.
because being yourself serves from the longer run standpoint. If we
Yes.
talk about one trait, Lalitji, that instantly makes someone a great leader, like you can identify
Being,
that he or she is a great leader. One trait.
see, if you ask me, if I see someone who is whom I can trust, I consider him to be a great leader because I believe trust is a currency which is which is in short supply.
Yeah, and that is correctly answered as well. So keep trusting yourself, but keep trusting others too. That's where your manifestation lies, because alone would not serve anything. It's a reaction as well from people which we need. One word that describe your coaching style.
Authenticity.
So authenticity is the word for Lalitji's coaching style. If anybody wants to mention authenticity in comments, just mention authenticity in the comments, and it will that authenticity word is going for Lalitji then. Yeah. Lalitji, biggest myth about success. Like not many people are chasing success, but what is the biggest myth about success?
Biggest myth about success is it is linked to achievement.
Yeah,
It's not.
it's not.
And if I just elaborate a little more, that success leads to happiness. That's also a myth.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure there's a hidden meaning in all these words which Lalitji is saying. So if anybody wants to know that meaning, you can get in touch with Lalitji. We'll provide the details at a later stage of the podcast. But moving on to my next question of this rapid fire round. If you could coach any global leader, who would it be? If you want to coach.
That's a tough one. I would let it pass. I've never thought about it.
Oh, yes, like we coaches are also in the learning stage only, always. Yeah. Okay. So moving on to the next question. A city that inspires you the most.
City that inspires me the most.
Yeah.
Jaipur.
Okay. Guys who are listening, I'm from Jaipur. So Lalitji is also inspired by Jaipur. So we are connecting for a reason. So maybe God wanted us to record this podcast and get it reached out to you guys. Next question, Lalitji. The first thing you do when you feel stuck.
I to write a journal.
Writing journal would always help people, listeners who is listening this. Please understand, journaling helps. It actually gives your emotions a way to lead forward. Like if people are getting stuck, journaling helps. Thank you so much, Laliji. Last question of this rapid fire round. One legacy you want to leave behind in one line.
One legacy I would like to behind. One sentence I can say. Is it
Yeah,
allowed?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So being remembered as a good human being.
Being remembered as a good human. Lalitji, you are a good soul, I would say. Being human is the body which has been given to us. And thank you so much for answering all these questions so rapidly. This is my first rapid fire round after recording all these podcasts, which has been done actually rapidly. So thank you so much for that.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
So that was
Okay.
fun, Lalitji. Now let's go deeper into the personal side of your journey, the
Yeah.
challenges, the growth, and the lessons you carry forward, which will be covered in our third section of the podcast. So, welcome back to Trust Your Journey 1.0. This is the third section where we'll be diving deep into Lalitji's coaching journey and all those challenges which he faced in his entire journey, and how he was able to overcome those challenges. And if somebody is listening, somebody is looking at this podcast too, please understand this is reaching to you for a reason. This podcast is meant to reach you for a reason. If you're listening this, please understand this journey, and it will give you a transformation from your own self itself. Lalit ji, Welcome back to Trust Your Journey, Section 3. I want to know more deeper challenges which you faced in your journey. Many see the books, the success, the corporate programs, but few, I'm sure many, not many as well, few itself doesn't know. Maybe this is for the first time you're sharing this, but few know the struggles behind it. But what were the toughest challenges you faced in your journey, and how did they shape you as a leadership coach, which you are right now?
So when I started the journey, uh, like everyone, I also faced the challenges. Okay. So if I talk about the key challenges, the first one was, of course, switching from a job that gives you a secured monthly income, letting go of that mm, comfort of monthly paycheck was the first challenge. Uh, Coupled with the problem that on the one hand there was no income, and on the other side I was on a new journey where which required investment.
Yeah,
So I was investing in learning, but there was no income coming on. So that was first thing. And of course there was no certainty also that how long it is going to take, because it was a new path that I had chosen.
yeah,
Second one, I come from a background of sales, and the work that I used to do, the natural progression was to do something related to that field that I had been doing for close to 2 decades. Since I chose a path which was entirely different, so it was sort of a zero say restart for me.
yeah,
Okay. So learning a new skill and doing everything on my own, which included delivering, which also included doing the sales on my own.
yeah,
In my last role, I was heading a fairly large team. Okay, so across levels, I was heading a team of 200 plus people. Okay, when I started this journey, I was doing sales on my own. So when I started, I remember within my first month, I was rejected by 23 people in one-on-one interaction. So that was tough, and I was rejected by people who may be half the years of my age, and I was not used to it. So one, I was not used to direct sales because my team was doing it, and my role included more of managing my team, leading them. Second is facing it directly on my face was not easy, that too in a short span. Okay. Third, continuing on that journey despite facing rejection was not easy. So a lot of unlearning and learning was involved in this process. Third thing, which was when I started this, not many people, at least in India, knew about coaching.
yeah,
So if somebody asked me, and that included my parents, what do I do? And I said coaching. So the answer was, which subjects do I teach? So coaching was confused with tuition.
yeah,
So explaining my profession to anyone in my relation or to the people in my known circle was a challenge. So everybody knew I am doing something, but what was I doing? That was not clear, and it was not easy for me to explain it to them. Okay. So these were some of the key challenges. Now, as I face these challenges and I look back at these in hindsight, these made me more resilient. Since I stayed back, I faced those challenges. I continued on this journey. It made me mentally strong. I did not give up. And this gave me the moral authority to do what I'm doing now.
yeah,
So when I now meet with people who are stuck, who are facing similar challenges, who are not able to move forward, and when I tell them, don't worry, ho jayega,
yeah,
we'll be able to do it. These are not just words, they carry a meaning. And these are coming from experience because I have been through that journey. Okay. So yeah, these are the challenges, and this is how my experience has been.
I'm sure the words which you were saying, I was getting engrossed into the journey of yours, because the challenges which you mentioned, even I went through all these challenges. It's been 3 years into the coaching journey, and still people ask, "What do you do?" Yeah, so it happens, and I can totally relate. But it builds that resilience, which is a powerful tool for anybody who wants to become a great leader. Resilience, and that actually leads me to my another question, which is, because resilience is, everybody needs that resilience, but it is built through perseverance, it is built through patience, it is built through hardcore, like it's a life, I would say it's a hardcore life which you chose, because not many people can choose such life, that you want to empower more people. You're not here only just for your own paychecks. Yeah, so this is empowering for me, Lalitji, after hearing your journey. How has your own definition of success and leadership evolved from your corporate days to today as a global coach now? Because you mentioned that you now morally feel like aligned, that yes, this is what we are doing now. So I want to ask that what exactly you feel today as a global coach, and the definition of success.
See, when I was working, it was simple.
Yeah,
Success was linked to annual promotions,
true,
salary hikes.
true.
Okay. So that was meant to be success. If I got a promotion, if I got a salary, I was successful. If not, then I was not successful. If on monthly basis, if I was hitting the target, I was hitting the numbers, I was successful. Otherwise, I was not. It was as simple as that. Leadership was linked to the title on my business card. So if I was a vice president, deputy vice president, manager, chief manager, so that defined my leadership. Okay. Now, having moved into this role as a coach, what I have realized, and if you ask me, both these definitions of success and leadership have converged for me. And they have converged into two important outcomes. The one is adding value, and the second is creating impact. So if I am adding value and that value is creating some impact,
Yeah.
I am successful. If I am able to do that consistently, I am a leader. If that's not happening, I am not successful, I am not a leader. Irrespective of whether in this process I am getting paid or not getting paid. There have been instances where I might have delivered superior value and I have been underpaid, but the satisfaction is high. In the initial part of my journey, I remember, I think I would have delivered at least 300 one-to-ones for free. Okay. I did not charge people any money. But that satisfaction was high when people used to say that this really helped me in getting some clarity. That was very satisfying for me. And I think that was something which helped me in continuing on this journey. That gave me the confidence. This is something which I am meant to do because I am damn good at it. And when somebody asks me that why are you doing it, I used to tell them because I know I am a damn good coach.
Mm.
Okay. I may not be getting paid now, but later on I am going to pay for it. So, and I think that is what success means for me. Okay. So as of now, if you ask me, adding value, creating impact, that is what success and leadership means for me.
And that truly summarizes the leadership terminology, that if you are adding value, you're actually seeding those values into the society, and you're gonna create that impact for sure. This leads to me to another question of mine, which is, if I'm sure there must have been multiple moments of failures in your journey. Was there a moment of failure that later became your biggest learning? and how did it influence your working with clients right now?
Yes. So that's a good question. So what happens, Avinash, is usually I coach people when they reach out to me. That means when they are themselves interested. Okay. And they are not recommended by their family members. Second is I coach adults. I don't coach children below 18. So these are the two rules which I follow. In one particular case, a mother reached out to me. She wanted her son to be coached, okay, who was below 18. And I was hesitant. Now, she being mother, she was worried. And she's asked me to meet the son once, which I did. And I checked for the coaching readiness. I was not very sure. And I gave her the frank feedback. But after a couple of days, she came back. She said that she had spoken to him and he's interested and he will do and he's ready. And I accepted it and we started with the engagement. After one session, the guy did not continue. So that I consider as one of the failures because the engagement did not continue because it was supposed to continue for long. The coaching doesn't work in one session. And I had the learning that what I was doing and whatever the process or the methodology that I had adapted, checking for the coaching readiness. And once I find the person to be ready and willing to move ahead, only then continuing with the journey was the right process what I was following. And deviating doesn't help. So that was my learning, and I am now back to that.
And I'm sure the policies which you're following right now, these couple of policies, this is what is building your foundation. That if somebody is willing, then only they can transform, right?
Yeah.
And this is what you're following. It's a beautiful thing which you're following, and all the great leaders out there who wants to become a great leader follow these values because this is what is gonna lead your journeys forward. But Lalitji, as someone who is coaching the next generation of leaders, what advice do you give to professionals who feel stuck between ambition and burnout? Ambition तो सबके पास है, right? But जब start करने की बारी आती है ना, so everybody burn out. Yeah? Okay, we'll start. Starting is easy, right? But it's very difficult to carry the journey forward. What advice you would want to give to those people?
So for this, I will just connect it back to something which I said in the beginning. We spoke about the mindset blocks
Yeah,
of the professionals. So my suggestion to the professionals would be get clarity about the priorities in life. And that can come by knowing yourself better. Okay. So what's not going to happen is you want success, but then you also want comfort.
yeah,
So both these things are not going to coexist. So if you want meteoric growth, then of course it is going to suck out energy from somewhere. Okay. So first get clarity. What is most important for you? What do you want the most? What's your topmost priority? And once you have that clarity, be prepared for it because that will help you in aligning your work, your life accordingly. Be ready for trade off. There is always going to be a price to pay. Okay. Now, sometimes it's not easy to get clarity on your own because that clarity comes from knowing yourself. Self awareness plays an important role because, as I said, the key problem which exists, which I have seen in professionals, is that they don't know themselves enough.
yeah,
They know everything else. And the problem is, Google can help you everywhere. ChatGPT can help you everywhere, but they may not help you in knowing yourself. That's the only limitation which is existing. So if you are not able to understand yourself enough, then maybe seeking professional help may be time saving for you. So the one option is be at the same place, keep thinking, remain stuck. That is one. The second could be maybe if you are not finding help on your own or from somebody else, then seek out professional help so that it will reduce the time for you. Because this will help you in decluttering the things, set the priorities right, and help you in moving forward.
And I'm sure, Lalit ji, all these advices, these are not just advices, these are practical experiences which you have went through with your clients and through your own journey of transformation too. And if any of our listeners who are listening, if they want to contact you, we'll share the details and everything at a later time of the podcast. But still, if they want to contact you, please reach out now. Otherwise, everything, the power, every time, whenever you'll be reaching out, the power will be in now only. So, whenever you'll be taking that action, that will be now. So if you want to take that action, it has to be taken right now, and otherwise you're missing the bus, you're missing the train, you're everything. The path is the comfort and the success. These are in both the different directions. That's what Lalitji mentioned. I am honored to record this podcast with you, Lalitji, because it gives me a pleasure to learn so many things through your experiences, through your journey in person. So this leads to me to my last question, Lalitji, which which is regarding your vision. What the vision which you hold, Lalitji? What is the ultimate vision you hold for yourself, your clients, and the world of leadership? And what do you want your legacy to be?
See, my vision is very clear. So the vision is to help people unlock their potential, become the best version of themselves. Okay, that is what I am working upon, and that is the essence of my entire coaching journey that I have started with. Now, what happens is, and how I wanted to work it out is that once uh, people are able to unlock their potential, of course, they are able to perform better, they achieve more success in their lives. The people around them should get inspired. Okay. Once that happens, the one person inspires the people in their vicinity. They also work on themselves in some form or the other. They start performing on their best. The community inspires, the society inspires. And what if this becomes a movement where the entire nation is growing? Now, I wanted to spread it like an infection where everybody is performing at their best potential. And once that happens, the overall productivity of our society, community, nation goes up. And that way, we will be able to contribute massively to the growth of our nation and later globally. So that's the vision that I have. Now, I may be able to contribute this much, but that will give me satisfaction, and that would be my legacy.
And beautiful mission you are onto, the vision. I really loved it, and I'm sure our listeners would gonna love it because everybody wants to unlock their potential, right? Everybody wants to become a better human each day, perform better each day, and whatever things which you have mentioned, these are not just words, these are experiences which have come out from your past experiences, but you have built it to serve the future. This is how a foundation is created, and Lalitji is a great example of that. If you want to break your barriers in thinking barriers, Lalitji, I am honored. Honestly, thank you for this powerful and insightful conversation. Your journey from corporate boardrooms to coaching arena proves that leadership is not about titles, it's about transformation. To all
Thank
our
you, Avinash.
listeners, to all our listeners, thank you so much, Lalitji. I am honored, honestly. To all our listeners, if you are looking to unlock your true potential and lead with clarity, check out Lalitji's books and coaching programs. You can find him at Lalit Hundalani International and follow his work on LinkedIn, YouTube, Insta. He's everywhere. This has been another inspiring episode of Trust Your Journey 1.0. Until next time, remember, true leadership starts with leading yourself. Lalitji, thank you so much for recording this podcast and coming and giving me this opportunity to host you into this series, which you mentioned that you also the conversation which we were having earlier, that you also went through the same journey of how I reached out to you and all. It's all about connections which we are building, and the moment which you mentioned, yes, this is a moment, and we as newcomers in the industry, we are joining too. This is a movement which has already been led. The small stone which you mentioned, that actually holds the power to, because it doesn't gives that space. Otherwise, the whole building would collapse, right? That stone has that power. So you are that stone which you're leading your movement towards. And I'm sure this podcast will reach to the global audience, and I want people to share this podcast with n number of people who wants clarity, who wants to lead with clarity, who wants to lead with purpose, who wants some accountability, who wants that success in a peaceful way, because coaching is accountability and it will give you peace. Yeah, Lalitji, last words from your side to our audience, your details and everything, how people can reach out to you and how they can touch base with your coaching journey.
So, first of all, thank you, Avinash, for having me on your podcast. And it was a real pleasure to connect with you and being part of this wonderful session with you. The time passed by, and it never felt like that it's been 1 hour since we have been on this podcast. So, thank you, and I wish you all the very best to you on this journey ahead. So, as far as I am concerned, I am easily searchable on Google. So Lalit, Hundalani. That's my name. So my website is www.lalithundalani.com. So all my links are available on this website. So anyone can visit this website, and through that I am available on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. So you can reach out to me there, and I would be more than happy and grateful to be able to serve anyone who may need my services. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you in the next episode.